At some point in the digital age of boss babes, new money, and ambitious rookies, we stopped consulting our village's wisest. Women have been the heartbeat of the world within their respective communities, workforces, and families since the dawn of time. They are the magic makers, the peacemakers, and the ass kickers. Let's celebrate them with the matriarchy party. Good morning, and welcome back to Matriarchy Party, everybody. Thanks for coming to the party today. Wow, we have such a long time coming guest. One of my OG mentors and best friends for life, honestly. Hallie Shano Cecere, she was one of my first bosses in LA. We met when I was 19, so like 5 years ago, I know. But in her amazing pink showroom in the California Market Center, she's always been an absolute force. Since then, we both evolved into working in different industries. Hallie has had an incredibly fruitful and lucrative 20-plus year career in the fashion industry, wearing many, many, many hats. We love hats, both, like literally and metaphorically, but design, sales, marketing, branding, et cetera, et cetera. And then the pandemic happened, and she, like many of us, we were just forced to make a big career change, and pivoted into the exciting and ever-evolving cannabis industry. Your 16-year-old self would be just so stoked. Now she's a senior sales manager at PAX. She seriously taught me everything I know about sales, marketing, branding, color coding my closet, most importantly, and actually most importantly, rock and roll history. Probably all of my music knowledge has come from you. We have so many memories together. We're just getting started, but I mean, you've been my sounding board and inspiration for so many years, and I am so happy to talk to you in the flesh here in Scottsdale. What are the odds?
In the flesh,
the LA native. Welcome, Hallie, to the podcast.
Thank you, Court. Thank you, Court. I love everything that you just said, and it brought back so many memories. We have so many memories.
We do.
Goodness. It's like we grew up together.
I know.
Like late teens.
In so many ways.
So many ways. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad we could do it in person.
And it's funny you said pink showroom, and I would look down, I was like, oh, look at that color right there. Right there.
Yeah. I brought Alex's Donuts, and it's really a very specific pink.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pink.
It feels nostalgic to be here.
Yes.
We were surrounded by pink. We still are.
Yes.
I just love you so much. It feels like it was just like a year ago that we were next to each other. Like
for years we were next to each other.
Listening to the Stones and Michael Jackson and Led Zeppelin, and you teaching me all I needed to know. And
rock and roll 101.
We could just, honestly. Well, this podcast is about matriarchs. So who are we talking about today? Who's one or many matriarchs in your life?
We'll talk about many. I would like to talk about a few. My mom, of course, first and foremost, who's no longer with us. So we'll go down that road a little bit. But yeah, Phyllis Shano, PhD, definitely my matriarch. Yeah, she was absolutely phenomenal. We're about to hit 20 years since she passed away. So this is very interesting. It's her birthday month. We're about to hit 20 years. Yeah, very
February.
interesting.
Yeah, this is very serendipitous.
Yeah, very serendipitous.
I feel like I know Phil, and I sadly, unfortunately, never met her while she was, because I feel like we've known each other 20 years. But that's weird because we're both in our 20s. So,
yeah. Wow.
But no, I know so many stories about her, and I feel like, especially, like, I know she visits you via hummingbird. So every time I see a hummingbird now, I'm like, Phil, hi, even though we never met, but I'm sure she knows me and she's with us. And
100%.
I know a lot about her. And so I'm excited to learn some new things about her today.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's actually hanging out right here, if I had to guess.
We'll see a sign.
Hi, Phil. Happy birthday month.
There'll be a sign. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I usually start this thing off with, when we think of a matriarch, we think of a woman who's the head of their family, tribe, or organization. When in your life did you feel like you had to demonstrate those traits, whether by necessity or not? I mean, in so many ways, I imagine, to your daughter, your cousins, your people you're mentoring through business. But when do you think the first time that was like, oh, I have to step up and do this?
The first time, actually, I think it started when I was young. I think that I would go find the girl who was new at school, who didn't have friends, who sat by herself, and I would kind of bring her in as my own. So I think that nurturing mommy role came to me very, very early.
A true girl's girl.
True girl's girl. I say female, girl sitting alone because I never really did it with boys. I only did it with girls. So I just thought of that. But I think that was the beginning for me, just to like be a mommy, babysitting kids when I was young. Just always having a tribe around me. Use the word tribe, and that's what I think. My 4 best friends have been my 4 best friends my entire life. The reason I'm here is visiting my cousin, who's my best friend, cousin, sister, ride or die.
Yeah.
So I feel that this has been, I think I was just born to do this. I really was, with you.
Connector.
And Carly. Yeah. There's just a part of me that I love this role. I love being like a mom, a matriarch to some, a mother to Phoebe. I think that I was really born to be not just a salesperson, not just fashionista, but like a mom.
Yeah.
And have my tribe. My tribe is important, and it's solid. And I'm the glue in a lot of these relationships, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I was like, are you exhausted by it or invigorated by it? Or it's just...
I love it. I never feel exhausted by it. I love this role, and I feel that both my parents had lifelong friends. My dad plays poker on the first Friday of every month since high school. Still, he just did it on Friday. With his OG crew that they met at LA High, and he still does this. And my mom had lifelong friends, and I do as well.
It's important.
It's so important. It's really important. And I feel that like once you're in my tribe, like you're forever in my tribe.
Yeah. That, I feel like you were momming long before you were, you pushed a baby out.
For sure. C-section.
To many of us. Well,
yeah, like, right, exactly.
To clarify, I didn't do that, but the actual act of birth.
Right.
Wow. Do you feel like there have been other defining moments of being a matriarch?
I think I know. I became a mom later in life. I already had my career. I married later, had Phoebe later in life. So I think that having her at this point is, it's huge. And it's something like a love, as, parents say, I never loved anybody as much as I love a kid. Like, it's just different. It's amazing. It's strong. And a new chapter began when I became a mom.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, I didn't have my mom as a guide, but I had all my friends who were moms at that time, as role models as well. But yeah, not really a defining moment. I think like once I started new chapters, whether it was a mom or a new career path or whatever, it just, those I feel have been defining moments.
Yeah.
Many.
Such a cool, smart, funny, fun, sweetie angel daughter.
Can I swear?
Yeah.
She's fucking awesome.
She is.
She's fucking awesome. And I know all parents are like, my kid is the best. Like, no, she's not really. Best. Like, she's always been cool. People are always like, you have the coolest kid. I'm like, I know.
She's like she's always been like beyond her years.
For sure.
Which now that I'm older and when I was little and people are like, oh, you're wise beyond your years. I'm like, that was trauma. That was oldest daughter syndrome.
Right. But you have that though. That's ingrained in you. And I think Phoebe's very similar to you. You both are Pisces, by the way. But I think that there's, almost the same birthday, really, if it wasn't that leapling situation. Yeah. But she's much better at skincare already at her ripe old age. Yeah.
I love her. Yeah. I'm like, what a collection. What do you think? I'm sure that this has evolved so much, but I feel like you've lived many lives. And even before you became a mom, what do you think like success has evolved into you? I'm sure at one point it was like crushing the fashion industry, which you did. And then it was like focusing on family. It's always been prioritizing friendships. But like, what does a true successful life look like to you then and now, I guess?
Okay, a few things that come to mind. Working in the fashion industry, when we were working with necessities, there was a time I walked into the warehouse and I remember looking around and it was so busy and there were so many sewers and rolls of fabric on the cutting table and boxes shipping to stores. And it was a holy shit moment. Like this, this was my brainchild. And that for me was a defining moment. I could still see myself standing in the warehouse going, holy fucking shit. This is absolutely amazing looking around. So that was a great moment. And then in cannabis, building a reputation around a brand that shuttered in California last January. and seeing what I built and that relationship. And I was like, holy shit, I really built these relationships within 2 years, where people text me on the weekends and just, I feel so good about that. So I'm doing something right in my career paths that have led me to have these relationships and these holy shit moments. And I know we'll talk about it further, just being able to pivot after the pandemic.
Yeah.
When a lot of people did, whether it was necessity, pun intended, or not. I think that those were definitely 2 defining moments, just seeing how I was able to establish a good rapport and apply like my, all my wonderful tools into something new.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're like, one of your superpowers is like relationship building. And so that crosses over in every type of relationship you have. And obviously like you still have sales reps and clients who you still are friendly with, just on social media, but also texting you and like you keep in touch with like decades later, as well as like your core group of friends. Like your priorities have always been straight. So it feels I know that your career, and I feel like there's just a lot of synergy and there's a lot of overlap because clients and colleagues become family. Like because you just kind of only keep the people who are energy givers in your circle.
Absolutely.
And then like keep watering those plants. You don't really water dead plants.
No. And back to the tools that my mom taught me. Just, pay attention to the good people, pay attention to the bad people. And I think that I have done that. And also seeing her, it kind of all blends together, seeing her change career paths. Like she got her PhD later in life. She wanted to become a doctor and a psychologist later in life after she was a school teacher and stopped for a few years to become a mom. And she's like, I want to be an interior decorator right now. And one thing she was always envious of was my career in fashion. She pushed me into fashion. She pushed me. She took me to a sample sale, and I will never forget this. She said, I'm worried. I don't want to take you. And I said, why? She goes, because you'll never leave. And I never left. That was it. I had somebody offer me a job right there on the spot when I was shopping. And that's how I ended up in there. So it was kind of crazy that she was right. I never did leave until the pandemic kind of pushed us into different places.
Yes. I think the pandemic was, obviously only you know this, but it was the defining force or like the final straw. But like, I think like you were ready for a new challenge years before
100%.
that. And so that was like, okay, got to do it. It's time.
100%. I think that definitely was humbling, but a necessary pivot and a chapter that just needed to close. I think it was time. I also I was very sad when Barney closed, RIP Barney's, when Barney's closed and all these retailers started to shut down in Los Angeles. And being from LA, seeing this landscape totally evolve. And then there's a cannabis store opening there and there and there. And I was like, holy fucking shit.
What is happening to the city? Yeah, let's talk about cannabis. Because like what an exciting, for even just being legal not long ago.
Yeah.
In California and other states, I feel it must be such a mindset shift from.
It's crazy.
I can't even. Yeah. It seems so obvious now.
Yeah. I have friends that say, oh, that makes sense. Of course. And not just because I
partook for a couple.
Consume. But I think because there was such a movement in these states that are legal, and first of all, the amount of money is mind-blowing, like in the billions, and it's mind-blowing. And you can just see that it's not going to go away. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad that I got to I got a jump in at a wonderful time at its infancy, because once it's federally legalized, like that'll change again. Yeah. So I'm glad I'm here for it.
You're on the up.
Yeah,
and it's exciting. You were there with like fashion and like evolving just through the market's evolution of, versus
T-shirts.
New Mart versus started with tees, but now I imagine you're still such an early adopter in the grand scheme of like the majority of the country. And it's like a business that's never going to go away. Like it's always been here, but now that it's legal, especially.
Yes. And one of my mentors in this industry, Elizabeth, whom I love, she hired me, she said, because I had a good business ethic, a strong work ethic. And I think that cannabis is still very scrappy and not a lot of people have it. So I was able to apply everything I learned from the apparel industry and my parents' work ethics because my dad is a physical therapist, still working 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Jack.
I was like, how old's Jack?
Yeah, Jack's like in his Tesla going from, 4 to 4 different offices. Yeah. So I still
The
see
work
that.
is in your blood.
It's in my blood.
You're ready
I don't
to
know
work.
how to not work.
Yeah.
You're like that too. Though.
Yeah, I know.
You're like that too.
For better or worse.
We're worker bees.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love it. I know you love it too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to sit home and watch Netflix. Yes, it's nice in the rain on a Sunday.
Sure.
But like do it all day long?
It's not our style.
Yeah, I think we have too much energy.
Like,
we drink too
let's
much
start
coffee.
a business.
Yeah.
Let's
start
keep
a business.
caffeinated.
What are we gonna do? So I think the strong work ethic really helped me, and that is something I'd like to pass on to other individuals in the cannabis industry because I feel that they need a little bit of that.
Yeah, well, I can imagine you probably the misconception or accurate conception of I'm sure a lot of people who work in cannabis or maybe just like the quintessential quote unquote like stoner personality.
You have a lot of
whether
that.
maybe you don't have a lot of, and I'm sure this is overlap in every industry, but like when you think of people working in cannabis, you don't really think of like, I don't know. This is just literally a surface level assumption that you're not going to have people who are like grinding and pushing through and working hard. I'm really punching the air here. So I'm sure like you're just like, get in line. I might be new to this business, but like this is not my first rodeo. And
Exactly.
the work ethic is the not teachable. I mean, I think you taught me so much about there are things that are teachable. There are things that like are instilled.
Yeah, I always want to teach however I can. I might not have my MBA or, but I do have tools. And I do have, I don't want to say things that I excel at, but like I do have things that I'm able to pass on, whether it's like take your vitamins and follow up on an email.
And
right?
here, eat this. You need some vitamin C.
Right?
Eat
You
a
need
slice
some
of
vitamin-
orange.
Right.
What does your day-to-day job look like then?
That's funny. Nothing is standard in cannabis, right? So every day, it's not even every day. It's like every morning is different and every afternoon is different. But you can be busy all the time. I work Saturday and Sunday and people are like, Hallie, what are you doing? But it's like, if an order needs to be entered and get to a store, like that shit,
Just get it done rather than
get
looming
it
in your
done.
head. But
yeah, so a day to day, I can visit stores, meet some of the managers, owners, which I love, see what's going on. And my territory is Los Angeles, which is it's a gnarly territory.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. There's a lot of dispensaries, but it's great. It is great. Everybody's so nice and warm. That's the one thing. I will say this. Everybody talks a lot and there's so much warmth.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an ideal working scenario.
It is. And everybody's high all the time. So it's like, it's a win-win.
That's perfect. Well, describe a time we're asking for what you want paid off, whether in your past career or current. Or, I mean, personally, it doesn't have to be.
That's a really good question, Court. I'm trying to think.
I feel like you're good at advocating for yourself. And then, I mean, similarly to me, when we were trying to transition out of one business, reworking your resume to be open to other opportunities when you've done one thing for a long time, it feels like it's really fucking hard.
It is
and you
hard.
have
It's
so many
scary.
applications. It's terrifying. You only know what you know, you think, even though so many of your skills are so transferable. It's just, whether it's the robots reading them or new employers or recruiters, they're looking at one type of resume. And it's like, yeah, but all of these skills could go here and here. So I know just like for me personally, applying for hundreds of jobs and not getting an interview. And I know you had a similar experience of just like trying to transition out and feeling like, when is it the right thing? So I don't know, maybe if it was during that time period.
Back to COVID being humbling. It was so humbling sending out resume after resume after resume. And most of them were for apparel companies because I did want to stay. And then like started to see a bunch of other huge companies in cannabis. And I was just like, wow. And diving down deep into these companies, like these are multi-billion-dollar companies. This is crazy. Like I want to get my feet wet here. But yes, very humbling sending out so many emails and resumes and cover letters and like, holy shit, how does this company not want me? I have so much experience. I check all the boxes. And it's like, oh yeah, they want to go to, some 25-year-old that had no showroom experience, wholesale experience, like in front of the camera, as we say, behind the camera. And I think that Their loss for sure, but it was, it was
Humbling.
very humbling. I use that a lot because I think I was also stuck on a path, I think. And maybe it was a pandemic that needed to get me out, and other people I see that were in similar situations, whether it was work, a marriage, a relationship, moving to a different state. I saw it with a whole bunch of people.
People really had to reflect.
Yeah, and I think we were just like kind of brought up and like, this is your next chapter. This is your direction right now. So that's a big thing, and I feel so honored and happy and privileged and just thankful to Elizabeth for giving me the chance at Cure Leaf Select.
And did she kind of hand select you then?
I think she did. And I think it was like all on LinkedIn. I think that I was just contacting LinkedIn. I was like, oh, paying $30 a month for this.
The premium really paid off.
It really paid off. I'm like, oh yes, this is good.
Shout out to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Get that premium membership, everybody.
And keep it.
Yeah. Well, how do you prepare for something scary?
Ooh, that's a great question. This for me is something that I've never done. I didn't find it as scary, but I found it as foreign.
Yeah.
New territory. How do I prep? I wake up positive every day. I don't wake up in a shitty mood or like, oh, black cloud over my head. So I just I think of it as something I haven't tried, and I go into it maybe a little nervous, but I'm like, I've done it. I've done shit. I push myself because I've such a colored past of doing so many things, not just even career-wise, but
and you're like, but that all worked out, didn't it?
Did.
So why not just try something new and scary?
Exactly. And the shit that didn't work out, like it wasn't supposed to work out.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, your loss earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm all about timing. Yeah. Everything in the right time.
100%.
So it's like, if you would have gotten one of those jobs that you thought that you wanted, you would have never even found yourself like evolving into.
And then for me, having a bunch of jobs on a resume is like, oh, no. I mean, I'm used to working in companies 20 years, a long time. So that's tough. I like that we're stripey today.
I know, we're very stripey.
Yeah, I like that. We're on the same
We're kind of always rainbowy, stripey. Yeah. I'm trying to wear more color this year as a sharp pivot because I feel like I buy a lot of black.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to blend in at work, but I'm like, oh, my heart loves color.
Yeah, you're a color girl.
I am.
Color.
On that sharp pivot, let's talk about Phyllis.
Okay.
Your mom.
My mom.
I feel like you're still close. You probably.
Yeah.
But were you very close growing up?
We definitely. And I say that like, maybe there was a question mark because I, went through my teenage
Of
angst,
course. Everybody has a tumultuous, complicated.
Back to cannabis. And, but yeah, I think that I do have regrets now because I feel that there were times when I was really shitty to her and I shouldn't have been. Like, here comes. We talked about things. She was just very smart. Nothing went by her. I feel that there's so many things that she taught me. And now as a mom that I'm able to kind of like, I sound like her when I cry too. But we got even closer when she got sick. And, do I regret not doing certain things with her knowing she wouldn't be here? Fuck yeah, I'm mad at myself.
Of course.
And I say no regrets. It's interesting because I told my brother when she was sick and they were trying to patch up some stuff. And I said,
what did she get sick with?
Jason, she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, same as Jackie Kennedy and Joey Ramone. They both had the same non-Hodgkin's. They say it's the good Hodgkin's. That's fucking bullshit. But
so how long once she was diagnosed?
It was less than 2 years. Yeah.
So sorry, you were saying you told your brother.
Yeah, I said no regrets. And I feel that is so important. And I know dealing with the death of a parent, you can't choose whether it's a quick one or whether it's...
I don't know what's worse, honestly.
They're both fucked up. And I think the outcome is the same, but you can't prep for either of them. That's the thing. So do I have regrets? Yeah, do I have regrets?
Of course.
But I was lucky. She was fucking awesome. And at her funeral, I think about this all the time randomly. At her funeral, there were a whole bunch of people we didn't know. And we're like, who are these people? And they came up to us.
Memorial crashers.
Yeah, memorial crashers. Yeah, they read the obituaries and stuff like that. They said that she was seeing them as patients for years for free, whether they had AIDS or
wow.
So she had this whole like secret life we didn't know with like these patients that all she wanted to do was help people, help the underdog, help people, whether they were sick, had a shitty childhood, abused. She was all about just helping people. And
why do you think you are the way you are?
yeah,
that makes
exactly.
perfect sense.
Thank you. So yeah, there's a lot of regret, but I feel that she taught me like so much, and I still hear her in my ears. Like,
of course,
just with, I think she would laugh that I'm in cannabis, kind of like, really? But I think that she would understand on a business level, like understand how I took this path and, you know, how I pivoted. From
as much as it's surprising, it's not surprising.
Exactly.
Yeah, she would be like, huh? Really? Okay, I see it.
Makes sense, right?
Did you,
Excuse me.
did you feel like you had, I'm always crying. Feel free, like let it all out. We love the vulnerability. So do you feel like she was a very like hands-on mom? Like obviously she had her career outside of the home, and then she took a few years, you said, off to be a mom, but she was kind of simultaneously like being a homemaker and forging her career path, or?
She was very hands-on. We were fortunate to have somebody help her, and, you know, with my brother and I, so she can go to school, do her dissertation. Like, but she always had dinner on the table, and we always sat down for a family dinner every single night. There were nights she worked late. We would go out with my dad or whatever, but like it was very important. Like family dinners and being together was so important. So it's like, however busy my dad is at work, however busy she was, we always came together at night. And I think that is really important. Like,
I'm sure even now having Phoebe, you're like, holy Hannah, that was a lot of effort to make like just dinner happen.
Yeah. And she cooked. She was a killer cook and baker and all that stuff. So she did, that was important to her. I don't think she had that. So I think that she wanted to make sure she, you know, did that with us.
I was going to say, did the way that she mothered or just like went out in the world, did that make you want to follow in her footsteps to some degree? Obviously different careers, or do the totally opposite of what she did?
No, she did the exact opposite of her parents. I wanted to do more of what she did because she was smart, really smart, like Mensa smart. She would tell you how smart she was. And becoming a doctor was very important to her. She worked so hard. And I just like, yes, that drives me.
And you didn't go to college?
No, I was a dropout, which I know disappointed her because she went to UCLA, and my dad went to USC, and I was
House of Learn a Doctors. I'm sure that's like school is so important.
Very important. And they were like, I was the disappointment for a while, and then I started to do really well in the apparel industry, and they're like, this is your path. This is meant to be your path. But I think at first they were like, nope.
Well, I think I remember whether it was like one of your wedding events or in playful jest, you and your brother were saying something about like college graduate, like he was trying to like dig at you, and you're like, yeah, but who has like this successful how many digit figure business, like, and I think people saw how quickly you just like caught on like wildfire with your career, and was like, oh, maybe like the college route isn't a mandatory thing to see quote unquote success in that way.
It wasn't for me. It definitely wasn't. For my brother, absolutely. And listen, I'm proud.
Everybody has a different path.
Everybody has a different path. Absolutely. And I think that I wasn't as good as a student as my parents and my brother, but I was good with, like, I just had this, I don't want to say passion for fashion because that sounds fucking cheesy.
I hate it, but it does roll off the tongue so well.
It does. It rolls off the tongue. But I think that, like, I found, like, oh my God, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at putting clothes together. I found my thing, and it could not have been taught. That was the other thing. Like,
it was within you.
No, maybe it was taught through the few bosses I had. I had a few female bosses in wholesale in the apparel industry, but other than that, no. It was like, I think it was just deep within me, and it just blossomed out into a whole bunch of colors. Yeah.
What do you think were some of the defining moments of Phyllis's career in life? Or like, did she have like a big dream when she was a little kid that she wanted to do?
She wanted to be in fashion. She was a great sewer. Back to regrets. I've never learned to sew on a sewing machine. I could sew a button and a hem, hand sew it, but she could like fucking whip up a dress and like a matching hat. And,
You
like,
know, I paid a lot of money for fashion school to not be able to like make a dress either. So it's okay.
And she was self-taught.
We can
It's
learn.
crazy. Yeah. So what was the question?
Well, no, we were on it. Like defining moments of her career and life, or like a biggest dream. So her biggest dream was to work in fashion, but like was she going like a safe, I'm gonna have a for sure career, going like the PhD? And
I don't think that was on her path initially. I really don't. I don't know when it became clear to her that like, I'm going to go get my PhD and go to school for the next few years. I think that I want to say she probably was like, I was a teacher. That was great. She loved doing that. Loved. And then becoming a decorator. And that was like the whole creative part of her. And then I think there was something else, like there was something probably deep inside of her, like, no, I need to become a psychologist. Like
it's like more substance or like something deeper calling.
I think it was a deeper calling for her. I think that I know she knew she'd be good at it. I know she knew like this is my next path. But I love how she just did that. Like she just went to school and became a doctor. It's fucking amazing.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Huge accomplishment.
You're just like,
women don't usually do that. They didn't do it then.
Well, especially then, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, like to just, what's that trending audio right now? Like, how hard can it be? Men do it.
Right.
Boys do it.
Right.
What do you think that she would consider to be the biggest accomplishment or regret of her life? I mean, never enough time, of course, probably. But
I do
that
think
wasn't something she could have changed.
Yeah, for sure. Something maybe she would have maybe had like a side fashion project, I think, because she just loved clothes and she was a serial shopper. Like nobody
Can't relate.
shopped. Yeah.
But she had tons of accomplishments.
She did have tons of accomplishments. She was a really good painter. She was a good baker. She was like, there was like this creative stuff she had. And I think she needed to use her brain, her other side to.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's rare you hear about people that can do both so well.
Yeah, for sure. She was really good.
These are my hobbies.
She had gorgeous handwriting. Like she worked both sides of her brain. Like I definitely meant so, I'm telling you. But she, and it's funny because I think I only work one. And, but did she have regrets? I don't know. My guess is, I guess this had something to do with fashion, but I don't know if she had a lot of regrets.
No,
I think she's like me. I don't think there's a lot of them. Yeah.
She like really squeezed out all the juice.
She did squeeze out the juice for sure. I like that one.
I just made it up. Feel free to take it, run with it.
I love it. Squeeze
out all the juice. That's what we do. What, well, I was going to say like, did she have any hobbies? But it sounds like she had about 6.
Yeah, but she wasn't like,
she wasn't like every week I need to set time to do this. She just like fell upon like probably great at like wrapping presents.
She shopped. She
like
really shopped. She worked, saw patients, and then she shopped. That was definitely a hobby for her. Very good at it.
Did she have any sort of like morning routine? Like now everybody's got their morning routine, but I don't feel like that's realistic for like our moms and grandmas didn't have like a morning, like beyond like feeding herself and the family and putting clothes on maybe, but like, or was there anything that you're like, oh, she always used?
It's funny. I haven't thought about that in years. I mean, she was like us, needed caffeine in the morning for sure. That would work out and then like go
What'd
about
you do
her
for
day.
workout?
Stairmaster. We had a Stairmaster.
Classic.
She would do that.
It's
or
hard.
go to the gym. Yeah.
Nice.
But she liked doing classes and
Did you have any like face products or like makeup that you're like, oh, always using this color nail polish or always using this face cream or?
Courtney, after she passed away, we had a refrigerator outside and she had about 6 hefty bags full of nail polish and lipsticks. 6. This woman had so many products. But it's funny.
It's like Phoebe's Shrine.
That shit's running in the blood deep, man. All the products. She didn't wear a lot of perfume, but she did wear. There was a deodorant she wore, and it came in like a baby blue little receptacle type of thing. And it was like I forgot what it was. Something grass. I forgot what it was called. That I still smell like that. I still have that smell. Her products, though. I mean, she loved products. She had her makeup mirror and her whole little dressing table and her deal. I would sit and watch her when I was little.
Vanity.
Stalked. I mean, the product love came from somewhere, and it was definitely my mom.
I love that. What's the best advice you've ever received or something that stuck with you that she told you or said all the time?
It's interesting. She gave me a lot of advice about friends early on, and I think I applied that to business. She loved Maya Angelou's quote, "If they showed you who they are, believe them." Here's something. You'll love the story. My brother and I were going to visit her at UCLA Hospital, and we get in the elevator, and there's a woman in there. And I said, "Oh, are you my mom's nurse? We're Phyllis Shano's kids." And she said, Phyllis's kids. She pulls out her wallet and she has like 30 Post-its of all these like Phyllisisms and all these things. And the Post-its fall like all over the floor in the elevator. And it was my brother. It was the weirdest moment. But she had like quoted my mom and written all these things down. I'm sure my mom was like giving her therapy.
She's like, I can't resist.
Right,
I'm literally in the hospital.
Sit down. So, but she loved the Maya Angelou quote. And I'm sorry if I'm not quoting it correctly, but if it's like, if they showed you who you are, believe them. And I think that I have applied that to friendship, to business, to everything. And Courtney's going to get it.
I was like, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Exactly.
Remember this, because it will happen many times in your life.
And I mean, she said it over and over, and you could really apply that to anything.
It's
to
so
business.
true.
Yeah, it is so true. So I think about that a lot. Like, I believe
shouldn't be like having to guess or confuse them. Just like watch what people are showing you. And people talk a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk a lot, but I feel like we're very like authentic. But I feel like
people talk a lot of
we've
bullshit.
met a lot of bullshitters in this world and like believe what they say.
Yeah. She also taught me, she had a really good lie detector on her. And so I could tell in a second when people are lying. I have a bullshit detector.
I feel like, did I get that from you? I don't know. I feel like I have that too, that I'm just like, 5 seconds
bullshit.
with working. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. And I'm sure you see it a lot in what you do.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, it's wild.
Yeah.
Like the detector, just red flag, green flag, I guess. But green lights.
Green lights. Oh,
I still say that. Sanford says that now too. Like,
it's a good one.
People are a red light or a green light, you know? Like you are like, proceed with caution. Maybe sometimes there's a yellow light, but usually I don't even really have time for yellow lights.
No, these days
believe them.
Yeah, believe them. I taught Phoebe the red light, yellow light, green light thing too, and I think that's important for an 11, 12-year-old to bring into her life as she, brings more friends in. So
meeting all types of people. I mean, new friend groups, new schools, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just thinking, it's so funny that we're chatting like right after the Grammys when like Music Cares and Grammy, like it's very serendipitous time for us to be
this
chatting.
Weekend. Yeah.
Music weekend.
I loved volunteering with you. I think about that. Like I think about like John Mayer and you're like,
I want to stand by that. We volunteered for Music Cares for like 15 plus years.
And it was the best. The best.
I don't know if it'll ever be the same if we ever do it again.
Never.
Because the access that we had.
We didn't have access.
No, but I mean,
we don't do anything.
We did our job. We crushed it because we were there for so many years. And then we just like finagled our way to be front row to see the greatest concerts
ever.
I mean,
but not
Bruce
just that.
Springsteen, Paul McCartney, Neil Young, Don Henley, Aretha Franklin, like the list goes on and on. You can Google the last 20 years, I feel like.
And the best the best artists covering them.
Yes. Then it's like this. So it honors, this is a sharp pivot here, but they honor for the Person of the Year Awards by Music Cares, somebody who has made a huge impact in the music business, but also has done a lot of philanthropy work for whatever cause that is. And then they hand select people to play. And then a lot of also Grammy nominated or Grammy performers, because it's the Friday before Grammys, perform the honoree songs. So it's like watching John Mayer play Don Henley Dirty Laundry, or watching like their best artist playing all Paul McCartney songs, like
Chris Cornell,
and then they'll come out at the end. Yes,
and
then at the end they'll come and play a song or two, and they get an award. It's just wow. I mean, people pay $10,000 plus to go to this thing, and we got to work it, and it was a different time. Now it's
best.
Like it's different, and I mean, the pandemic obviously evolved things, but like people don't get the access we got. I'm just saying. So it was just such a good.
We were meant to be there.
Man.
We were meant to see that and hear those concerts. We're just a room of.
When I think about people who've seen the people that we have performed live, unbelievable.
Yeah. We got a little numb to it. It's like Elton's like,
oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know. Unless I see like Robert Plant, I don't know if I need to go back. Like, so spoiled. Okay. Sorry. Pivot back. What do you
that makes
most
us happy?
Phyllis?
That's something that makes us both happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
music and Phil.
Yeah. Yes.
It made Phil happy too.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
So that's our tie-in to
Yeah.
land that helicopter there. But,
Yeah, exactly.
What did you admire or do you admire most about Phil?
What did I
My twin
admire?
brother's name is Phil, and her mom's name is Phil, Phy.
Yeah, and even when Carly was working with us, her dad's name was Phil.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
Phil
connections.
synergy.
Yeah, it was like, I'm sorry.
What do you admire most about her?
What did I admire? I admire that her strength, her drive, her passion, her love. Like she loved her family. Love. And if you ever did her wrong, like that was it. She's like, I don't have time for that shit. Like people
Believe
are friends.
them when they show
she
you.
did. Like there were friends of mine growing up. If they were assholes, she was like, she would never say, "Oh, how's so and so?" It's like, "Oh no, you're not friends with so and so anymore." Like never. Cut. Yeah,
Wow.
cut. Just I admire her strong work ethic, her glue, like because she was the glue in so many relationships and foundations, and there's just there's so many things that I admire. I was so lucky, so fucking lucky.
And so much of who you are is because of her and all of the qualities. I feel like we're mirrors of people that we admire so much. It's because like those are the things that maybe we don't even see on that degree that are within us, I think. But
we are lucky. You're right. Because and I'm sure in life, and there's people that aren't blessed with good parents, or even some parents are just mentally, physically not there,
capable or there.
Yeah. And I think that some of us are. I mean, I know that I'm lucky, and I know that and my dad is awesome, and he married an awesome woman, and I think
Shout
that
out to Marsh. We love
we love Marsh. I got blessed with an amazing stepmom, which is So I just.
I was there when you got the call in the Kiehl's store in Las Vegas that they got engaged. So cute.
Oh, that was cute. But I love that you've been a part of this journey with me, Courtney, for so many years.
We knew each other before we had husbands.
Oh my gosh.
A kid. Man, I've seen the evolution.
Yeah. Courtney with her broken wing.
Yeah, I came to apply with not even a broken arm. I don't know why I was bandaged. I had hurt myself. Clumsy? I don't know. I fell something at an ace bandage. Gosh. And I was really worried I wasn't going to get the job. Like I couldn't make color cards without my, my money makers here. I don't know.
Hashtag make more color cards.
All right. How about some rapid fire?
Yeah, I love rapid fire.
Is there a song, beauty product, piece of jewelry that makes you think of her? I mean, you said the deodorant, but.
The deodorant, yeah, but are there songs? Yes.
So many songs.
A Steely Dan song comes on.
Yeah, it was like Steely Dan.
Or there's something, a random Beatles song, Steely Dan, Bob Seger, Bruce Springsteen, like a lot of those will just ooh.
I remember when I got my Beatles tattoo and I was like, I know you can't, you were kind of anti-tattoo at that moment.
And I was anti-tattoo every Monday morning. Look at my new tattoo. Look at my new tattoo. Look at my new tattoo. It was like a Monday morning
dating
thing.
a boy that was very cute, that was covered head to toe in tattoos. I don't know, that'll do it. I'm like, I could get a little refrigerator magnet.
I do love your tattoo.
My Beatles lyric tattoo, I was like, you can't be mad.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Because
it wasn't... It's the last lyric of the last song of the last Beatles album. And the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And that was associated with Phyllis Howe.
We put that on her gravestone.
Yeah. So I was like, you definitely can't be pissed.
And I was no longer mad at Courtney for getting tattoos every Monday morning.
But I did have to sign a contract that I wouldn't get anymore. Yeah. And now since then, we've both got several. So
throw away that contract.
What's one word to describe her?
Exceptional.
Wow, that's a great word. I love that. What do you think you inherited from your mom or have in common with her? I mean, we just listed so many things.
Yeah.
I could list off. Creativity, the glue of your family, mothering and taking in the strays and loving on everybody. Fashion sense, like the bullshit detector. Okay, those are,
that's great. Think? No, I think all of those. And just the importance of family, the importance of friends, the importance of keeping good in your life, being good, keeping good, like that stuff. Everything else, fuck it.
Don't make time for that.
No, absolutely not.
How do you recharge now? And how do you think Phyllis did?
How do I recharge? Interesting. How did she recharge? How do I recharge? So many different ways. This weekend staying at the Biltmore was a definite recharge, doing the spa and having a facial.
What a treat.
Yes, it was a
gorgeous.
treat, but it's something I don't do.
It's not the reality of every day.
It's not the reality every day. It was something that I don't normally do that I needed to do to recharge. What did she do? Also maybe vacation, a time away. She loved like going down to Newport, staying at a hotel, shopping, and driving back. But I think music was a good recharge. I think we both have that as well. Listening to something that just makes you feel good.
Car ride, PCH, listening to music.
Absolutely. She wasn't as much of a PCH driver as I am with that whole like feeling this is my home. But
I was talking to my girlfriends about like we'll pick a word of the year of like whether that's the focus or the goal or like what you want your year to. And I was like, I more so want to chase the feeling of like when the temperature's like 73 and you're driving down the PCH and there's like the wind is blowing your hair and it's sunny but breezy and you're listening to a song you love and it's just your heart is like growing like the Grinch because it's just like vitamin D and just like a song you love and the ocean there, water sign. I want that feeling for this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but like
a
whatever
happy
that
place.
is.
You just that's your happy place
like,
and I get it.
Make more of that. And how, when I live in the desert, do I chase that feeling or like carving out the time?
Come to LA.
Come back to the ocean. Yes. What if you could give advice to your 25-year-old self? What would it be?
Wear a condom. I'm kidding. What would it be? My 25-year-old self. Yeah, dump them sooner. I mean, there's a few.
Yeah, we learned some lessons.
I think it's mostly like having to do with dudes.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have to do with career because I was already, knee deep in wholesale and apparel. Yeah.
It was the relationship piece that like took more time than the career.
That was the
relationship. To find the
absolutely. That's worded perfectly. That chapter came a lot later, but
had a lot of other things to do.
Yeah. Had a lot of
frogs.
A lot of process of elimination there. So yeah, I mean, that would be my advice and enjoy. I also think, and I remember I told you this too, in your 20s, have fun, travel. If you're single, have fun. If you're in a relationship, like travel, enjoy that. Don't get married in your 20s. Yeah. Don't have babies in your 20s.
Don't be a child bride. When I first got engaged and I was a child bride to the same husband I have now, but it was very shocking.
Enjoy your 20s.
Yeah, that was so funny. Because did I get engaged before you? And you were like, Courtney.
Probably.
You're 16 and a half years old. No, I wasn't. But still, I was early 20s. And she's like, are you insane? Spoiler alert. We've been together for like 17 years now. But
17 years.
I know.
Gosh.
Well, it overlaps
That's
with...
a long time.
That's wild. So basically, I was a child bride.
Yeah, you were.
Which I wasn't. I got married. I was almost 30, but been together for a long time. Anyways.
Lucky Brand.
When's the last time? Yeah, shout out to Lucky Brand. We met at retail. My boss broke his ankle. He came over to sub. I told my coworker, Amber, I love him. Can we keep him? And she said, are you boy crazy or what? And I was like, well, the ring says it all. You know what? When you know, you know. Trust your gut. Advice for your 25-year-old self. Just trust your gut.
Yes.
You know more than you think you do. When is the last time you did something just for fun?
This weekend was definitely just like plan a trip spontaneously, spend time in a great
invest
hotel.
In yourself.
Yeah. Just being with Rachel and having that was amazing. Getting a facial, going shopping, having
all your
great
favorite
dinners,
things.
all my favorite things, watching the Grammys.
Yes. And bed with like a hotel room.
Weird. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how we used to make Vegas tolerable.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We would do that. And you know what? We would do Grammys
It was
Vegas.
around the Grammys.
Yes,
oh my gosh, because every Valentine's
Day
Day for like 10 years we were together.
We were in Vegas. You usually had somebody.
Chocolates. It was the same somebody.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert. Because we met when I was 4.5, I guess.
But younger and younger.
And then that cute little old gentleman at the trade show would give us the chocolates because we worked on Valentine's Day in the little pack. They weren't good, but it's a core memory.
I remember that. It is a fond memory. That's what I do. I try to enjoy life and all that stuff. I wake up happy. I choose to wake up happy.
It's a choice, guys.
Yeah.
And listen, I have struggled with anxiety and depression over courses of my life. I'm sure you have as well.
Absolutely.
But like, if you can pull yourself, nobody wants to be in like the pit of despair. I know that. And I know that it's a disease. And I know I've been lucky to like be able to look from the outside in and pull myself out of that quicksand. Because I'm like, no, I want to be, even if it's like a delusional, like Delulu is the Solulu, mind over matter. I'm going to gaslight myself into being happy. What gonna have a coffee. I'm gonna play a song I love and just have a dance party for 2 minutes and snap myself out of this. Like, it's a choice.
But it's interesting. You used that. You saw yourself sinking in quicksand and you retrieved yourself and pulled yourself out. I always saw myself at the edge of a cliff and I pulled myself back. Look, there's a Van Halen saying, like, you turn to the edge, you stare and look down. And it just like, I always felt that, like, pulled myself back. So it was interesting. You used quicksand and I used a cliff. But yes, I think we've all been dark.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What is the favorite age you've been so far and why?
I love living. I do. I love living. I think that losing a parent, as I know you know, changes your outlook on everything.
Yeah.
On age doesn't matter. I know I still act like I'm a young, dumb teenager sometimes, but with a little maturity.
The older I get, the more that I realize, like, isn't that what everybody should be doing? Just like still like making your 16-year-old self proud and acting like a dumb teenager when you can.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be so serious about everything.
Yeah. I love being a mom at this age. I love the career path I've taken. I love my relationship with my spouse. I love, like, my relationship with my family. Like, I don't have anything like...
Every day is a party and every meal is a feast.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all fucking rainbows and, donuts, but it's...
A lot of days are.
But I also, like, I can't pick a number, I mean, of course I would pick a number, like, with that when my mom was alive.
Of course.
Of course I would pick that. Because it's like, when Phyllis was alive, backwards and now going forward, like, how do I don't know. That's a hard question. That's a really
Every
hard
year
question
has
for
been
me.
great in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like getting older, of course. I don't like all this new shit I'm seeing, but I'm here.
She's pointing to her face.
Yeah, I'm pointing to my face. But I'm here. I'm here and I'm healthy. Let's all knock wood.
Yes.
And I think I see that. I see that big picture.
I love
thank you. I love you, Court.
I love you
that
so
we
much.
did this. This was so meant to be.
Everything about it, the more we're talking about it. The timing,
crazy.
that you're in town, that it's Grammys weekend.
Yeah.
We're both wearing stripes.
Yeah.
Pink is following us.
Yeah.
Well, final question. If you could say anything to Phyllis, what would it be? She's already heard this podcast, I think, because she's probably sitting here with us right now.
There's so many things. I mean, it's just like, I just wish she was able to see me, my husband, and my child.
Yeah.
And like, what would I say to her? I just fucking hug her. I love her and miss her, but I don't know. I think, there's so many things. It can't be one thing. I would just hug her more than anything. I think that would be, for me,
She would know.
Yeah. I don't think I would need to say anything. Just hugging her. That would be it. And I get the dreams and maybe she'll give me a hug dream, which we can go into more details about that after. But
I know. Hallie told me about the hugging dream after my dad passed away, and I've had dreams.
Visits?
I've had dreams of him, but like I'm in the outside looking in, like, oh, I know he's not here. This is just like an illusion. It's just like when I'm awake and like visualizing him or hearing his voice. So like I know it's not real. And like last week I had this, and I was texted Hallie like, I finally had the hugging dream, and it's been 2+ years that like. I don't need to get into the whole thing, but essentially just looked at him and I was like, what? How are you? Like, it really felt like he was there, and I had such a good hug, and I was like so taken aback and so emotional, and then stood back and he like morphed into another person's face that I didn't. So I was like, I think he visited and then had to go. But
he did go visit someone else.
Oh my gosh. It was wild. I like abruptly woke up, but I think obviously, I mean, you taught me about that, and I'm sure she'll visit you again, and she's with you and Jason all the time.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
do get
it's just not the same. This shit sucks, as what one friend profoundly said.
Sucks.
Losing a parent.
Yeah, it's when you called me and you said I'm in the club that I never wanted to be in. I think you used the word club, and I just
Dead Parent Club.
My heart just broke for you, because I just know that like it's so surreal. It's so surreal.
It is. I mean, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't ever think that you never think it's going to happen to you, no matter what age you are. You can't anticipate it.
Yeah.
Whether they had a long battle with something or was very abrupt, like my dad. But I mean, I'm still in disbelief, I think. And you're just riding that grief wave. And I don't think a lot of people talk about it.
No.
And so I'm always like, oh yeah, like I'm still fucked up. I'm like, and whether or not you were closed or not, Of course I have regrets. Of course. I mean, I think that was a lot of the reasons why I like pivoted my career into something with more balance because, I mean, I say balance, you know, whatever that means to you. But I think there were days that I was like, oh, I could have been nicer or not as stressed or just like, what was I like saving lives? Like, what was I doing? But on that uplifting note, we're all going to die. So just choose to be happy. But yeah, I
think you should do a podcast. I think you should. I think you should do it on like grief and stuff like that and how we deal or don't deal.
Yeah.
Because I think it's something you're in it
forever.
You're in it. There's no tools. There's no book. There's nothing to prep you. And everybody kind of just feels, I use the word surreal because I think it's one of the best
just all encompassing
to describe this. Yeah.
Like,
and everybody's like, yeah,
it's not
surreal.
Real. It's not fair. It's not.
No,
like,
it's not fair.
Nothing like what you think it's going to be. Some days it's just as vivid as it was when it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's so fresh for you 20 years later.
I think you brought up, you always have a way with me though. You are, I mean, because you're such an important person and such a huge part of my heart. Like I can talk to you and hug you and cry and like tell you anything. And you're good. Thank you. But you're good at just like, you're like just this comfortable friend. You're like that, oof, I just love you. But you were like the perfect person to ask me these questions. And yes, it's been 20 years, but I think you bring out that, you know, maybe some things
feel
I bury.
safe here, I hope.
And that's exactly, you're my
cry.
safe friend. Yeah. It is safe here. And I know that it's not something I sit and talk about all the time. So yeah, when you bring up some of these questions or parts of my past that are, you know, it
pulls it out from deep within.
Yeah. And sometimes that shit needs to come out.
Yeah. I think you can't just bury your shit, guys.
Think about that rug. You keep putting all this shit under the rug. Guess what? There's going to be a big old fucking Camelback mountain under that rug.
Great Arizona reference. Wow. Would you just hike it this morning?
I hiked it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow, guys. Well, full circle here. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for being here, Hal.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so touched. I love talking to you any chance I get. This was amazing. Guys, go call your matriarchs.
Yes.
Go call your parent, your mom, your grandma, or your dad, or your grandpa,
aunts.
or your mentor, or your teacher. Just call your people and tell them you love them. I read something yesterday that was probably on social media, but it was like, use I love you like hello and goodbye.
Just I love that.
Say it all the time.
I love that.
Say it to everybody because nothing is promised. But go and have a great day and love on your people. And
absolutely. No regrets.
We'll see you soon. No regrets.
Thanks.
Regrets?
Love you. Regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No, like that tattoo that you get, that person got. It's, gosh, my whole life is a meme, isn't it? But like it's, somebody got a it was spelt wrong. And it was like no regrets, but it was spelled wrong.
Do you want to know the funniest meme that I've seen in the past? I just have to say it because it makes me laugh out loud. Yeah. There's a cat, there's a window that's open and a cat is yelling out the window and he said, who the fuck did, because you know, that's how people call cats. I think it's the funniest thing ever. I don't even have a cat.
You're not even a cat person.
I had one cat in my life, but it's like one of those things like, I don't know, maybe cat people will understand.
Wow, it's a very niche joke for our cat people out there.
And on that note,
if you want to see more of Hallie, go find her on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Hallie Shano Cecere. Or go follow PAX to see what she's doing in the cannabis biz. They're like in the news and winning awards and a fun place to be.
Absolutely.
PAX All right, go love your people. Thanks for playing.
You.
Bye.